Hey there UKDCers, today on the table I have the Boker Plus XS on loan to me by Paul Harding, greatly appreciated, thank you very much sir. This is made by Boker, I assume in China, but there's no marking on here so I can't tell. Boker Plus is the mid-range division from Boker. Boker Magnum, which is like gas station knives, Boker Plus, which is mid-tier, and then Boker, which is their high-end like premium stuff. Warranty is a bit shit. You have to send off stuff to Boker if you want it. There you go. You have to register if you want the limited lifetime warranty. So not a fan of that. It's like 90s computer stuff, isn't it? You get a little tool in here, which is a T8 and a T6, which is nice enough. And the box is, you know, it's good enough presentation. You can buy this version on Knives and Tools for about £50, just a little under I think I last saw. They no longer sell this version on Heine Haynes though. If you want to get one from there, you can get a black satin drop point or a black satin clip point like this. The drop point doesn't have jimping, the clip point does. A couple of things to note just before I jump into this review. That sharpening choil there was added by me, so that's non-standard. If you want to see how I did that, there's a video in my mods playlist. You can go and search that up if you're interested. Also, I don't believe this is the original clip. I can't find an image with this clip online, so I think it might have been replaced. Usually you get a 3-screw, looks a bit more sturdy than this. It's a bit bigger as well, but it's stonewashed as well, so it's not this shiny. So I'll not reference this clip in the review, except to say that you can switch it around and stuff, so because it's not really something you're going to get. So action on this knife is, it's a little stiff, it takes some getting used to. I had a couple of work colleagues try to open this without me saying anything about it, and neither of them could actually do it. I think they were trying to put their fingers on this clip, which I can manage, but you really have to get your finger up, and it's not great. You put your fingers on the side of the scale there, it's just so much easier. So yeah, there's some very tiny learning curve, but once you figure that out, it's fine. I will say the thumb studs are less than comfortable. After using them for a whole day, I did wish this was easier to open, but that's probably just my girly thumb, and real men that have like calloused thumbs because they do real men's work are probably not going to find that bothersome at all. So if you have girly hands, just maybe not the knife for you. Washers on this they're sort of the Teflon plasticky ones, which are fine. I understand why manufacturers use them. You don't really need to oil them. They don't rust or anything. I've yet to ever have a pair deteriorate on me. However, what I have done is in disassembly I have wrecked some Teflon ones, so I do prefer the phosphorons ones just because they seem to be a little bit more rugged. But I get that they do rust and stuff, and there's that. Hardware type on this, you get a captive pivot, which is a T8, 2 T6s on the body, 2 T6s on the other side, and it should be 3 T6s for the pocket clip, which, by the way, is reversible for left-hand carry. It's tip-up only, so bad luck if you like tip down. And talking of left-hand carry, this does have dual-sided thumb studs, so if you're a lefty, you can absolutely just switch that pocket clip over, and you can open it just like that, absolutely no problem. You get G10 scales that have steel liners on the inside, so this is like your ultra-rugged knife there. Like I said, if you want to go see the disassembly, go and check my first impressions of this, where you can see the liners, and you can see the washers and all that. But yeah. There's that. There's no lanyard hole on this, which seems very odd to me because there's a lot of space for one, and there's just nothing going on with the material there. You could easily add a paracord size hole there. Grip on this is fine. It's not ultra comfortable. I've got no complaints in my use. The problem with this is this looks like this is made for about as heavy use as it can get with a UK EDC knife. Keeping in mind that this is one of them that's got an actual total length from the bolster, like a blade length of over 3 inches and a cutting edge of well under. So if you're worried about that, maybe not the knife for you, but the cutting edge is in line with section 139 subsection 3. At least in my opinion, I can't see how you wouldn't make it that. does look extremely heavy duty for a UK legal. You know, usually we're used to things like, I don't know, like a small thing like this, or I don't know, something like that. You know, just smallish things. This thing is built like a tank. Look at it. And like I said, it's even got liners, which it really doesn't seem to need, in my opinion, but there they are. So while it's fine for just general light EDC, I feel like if you were using this for any extended period of time doing heavy things like wood sticking, which is where you push down on a log and then do that to sort of like make fire tinder and stuff, I feel like you'd get a bit grumpy with this knife after a little while. That said, I haven't tried any of that, so it's just a guess. That's just how it sort of feels like it will go in my hand. That said, for light EDC, this is more than fine. You know, if you're not going to go crazy with this knife, the grip and handle on this is adequate. It's not horribly uncomfortable by any means. It's just not the most ergonomic thing I've ever felt. You do get this lovely finger choil here, so if you're looking to do some heavy work like, you know, like wood sticking or anything like that, and it closes, you're fine. It just pinches your finger there and you can just push it back up. No worries. That also makes the jimping here somewhat useful on this knife. I maintain that usually on a slip joint without finger choil, jimping is pretty useless, because as soon as you press down on it, it's going to do that. I do see a couple of scenarios where if you're pushing down on something and you just need that extra, but then do you really need jimping for that? Not in my opinion. You can just push on the back of a knife anyway. However, for this one, it makes a lot of sense for me, because you can put your finger there, you can get a little bit of grip there, you can go up to there and do that, or you can just go all the way forward, not even holding that, and just do whatever with your fine work that nobody ever uses an EDC knife for that I've ever heard of. But if you do find yourself in the position where you need to do a bit of fine carving with an EDC knife, yeah, this is your boy with its really thick, meaty blade. So, yeah, maybe not. Like I said, you've got a variety of grips to suit all manner of people. I think you can even hold it back here if you want to, and that's fine. You know, you're pushing down, half your thumbs on here, so it's not going to close that blade. So that's wonderful. Fit and finish on this is more than adequate for the price. I mean, this was £50, and as you can see, it's all completely centered and everything. There's no standout ridges or anything that is uncomfortable. Like I said, it could have had that sharpening choil from the start. There's a mess of material there. When you first get this, it's just a clump of metal. Not a great idea. The edges are nicely chamfered, although I do feel like it needs to be a little bit more so even on this thing, especially up here, but that's not terrible. I can't comment on the pocket clip, of course, because I don't think it's standard, but other than that, the other thing is these thumb studs, like I said earlier, are a little bit harsh for my girly thumb. I don't know, I just like to see them. I don't know what you could do about that. Maybe just round them off at the tip or something. But there you go. But yeah, anyway, fit and finish on this, it's not phenomenal. You know, you got things like this corner here. What is that all about? Just either get rid of it here, extend this and cut that back, or just get rid of that or extend this or something. But that's a missed opportunity. That should be gone. It'd look a lot better if it was just like that. But oh well. But it's more than adequate for £50. You know, there's nothing stand out that I hate or anything that really bugs me, so that's fine. It's 440C. You get your Chadlos Banos design thing there, Boker Plus. And you get your 440C and your serial number, which is 1246 on this particular one, but it's individual for each of you. The stonewash finish on this blade is really quite nice. I'm a big fan of that stonewash. Look at it. Very, very nice there. Really well done. Edge retention on this, let's have a go. I have run out, unfortunately, of the Heine and Knives and Tools magazines, so we're going to have to go to printer paper. you know, it's all right. It's what I'd call a working edge. It's certainly not a fine edge, but I don't think anyone needs a fine edge for EDC anyway. But yeah, it's still intact. Quick strop will bring that straight back, which I'll do for Paul there before I send this back to him. Yeah, no, it's all right. Centering, as I said, is fine. Blade play. Yeah, no, that's fine. I did have to add a dab of this stuff to the pivot because as I was opening it, the pivot was loosening. Even though it's a captive, I think this was just rocking loose or something, so I have had to do that, which is just something you might need to keep in mind if you find yours loosening. Just a bit of Loctite will sort that right out. So yeah, let's do a length comparison. Boom, your stats as usual will be on this screen, and let's go. So this is a lot closer to your American style knives than your UK ones because of the sort of extended bit of finger choil here, I guess. There's your little mini grip. So we've got a Paramilitary 2, mini grip Tillion, and Benchmade 940. And as you can see, it doesn't look out of place with the locking knives whatsoever. You know, it's just about the same size-ish. It's obviously a little bit smaller than the American ones, but you know, certainly not by leagues. And for the UK market, we have the UK PK, and we have the Victorinox Pioneer, and the Victorinox Classic SD. And there you go. I've got more of these lanyards from my friend Matt. If you're looking for some lanyards, nice ones, go and check the link in the description. He does some other stuff as well, about the same size as a UK PK-ish. Sort of the same handle real estate. Yeah, see, I don't see how. It's definitely over 3 inches, but just coming back to that. Like that. That is definitely just under 3. This one, yeah, it is just over 3. So yeah, it looks very similar, but it's not. It's just there's 0.1 inch in it. I think this fills a very unique gap in the UK EDC market. There aren't that many hard use UK legal to carry, like without a good reason, knives, because the assumption is if you're going to hard use it, you can just carry one that you've got a good reason for. So if you're bushcrafting, just bring a Puko, bring a fixed blade, because that's a good enough excuse to carry one, as long as you're smart about it, of course, but don't have it swinging at your hips like. But you know, you're allowed, there is allowance in the law to carry, you know, actual tools if you're going to do a job with good reason. So like I said, if you're bushcrafting, if you're camping, that kind of thing, fishing, you can carry a lock knife, you can carry a bushcrafting fixed blade. However, if you're just out and about, and you know, you never know when the urge is going to take you to bushcraft, this could be a good option, because of course you don't need a reason to carry this one, whereas you do for the fixed blade. This reminds me most of this knife, because it's, you know, it's got quite a big handle, it's pretty hard use, about as hard use as EDC can get. What I will say is the Hindra is leagues more comfortable. The Hindra has leagues better steel, although who knows what that means anymore with heat treats. But the Hindra is also leagues more expensive. So if you're looking for a hard use knife that doesn't cost about £300, this might be your best bet. It's like I said, £50 is very reasonable for what you're getting here. 440C. It's a good make, like Boker Plus. It's fairly comfortable, does the job. I think this is fine. I mean, I'm almost tempted to get one. I don't have a use for it. I think it's maybe not. It's a little bit. like I say, so the action's a little stiff for me and my girly thumb. I think I'd rather go with something that's more pleasant to open, something like the other knife that Paul lent me, for instance, like the Xanadu, which is an absolute pleasure to just muck around with. Only problem with this one is that I keep nearly cutting myself on it because it's too much fun to flick open. So something easier and more fun like that to deploy, rather than something like this, which is perfectly deployable, perfectly usable. But I think this is just, I just call this complete overkill for my use case scenario. I've never needed anything this hardcore with this kind of a blade stock. Oh, something that I never do, and I'm going to start doing, edge behind the edge thickness, because that really matters. Now, I'm not going to tell you my edge angle because I don't know, but there you go. Just behind the edge, 22 thousandths. You can do the math yourself if you want that in millimeters, but there we go. Thank you very much. Cheers.